Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 33 of the Buko Boys.
Hey, everybody. I'm DVO.
And I'm Dale.
And we're coming back at you.
All right. It's episode 33 already.
Yeah, moving right along. Trucking. Getting this podcast going.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every day is like a new adventure on this, getting things ready. It's pretty fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Have you had anything going on this week?
Well, over the weekend, I was pretty excited that Game of Thrones came back finally.
Hell yeah, it did.
Man, I've been waiting for this. It's the season finale. And you know what? I think it was only like a 1 hour episode, that first episode.
Yeah. What happened to the whole hour and a half, 2 hour long episode?
Because they're only going to be, what was it, like 6 or 7 or 8 or something? Like, it's going to be like a really short season, so I thought they were going to be longer episodes. Didn't really get a longer episode.
I don't know what happened. It was still good. It was way good.
Oh, it was great. It was great. So
tell me what your thoughts were about it.
White Walkers are on the march, and they're coming to take over. I don't know what their point. I don't know what their point is. To just make everyone dead.
Yeah.
I don't get their point.
There's been a lot of stuff going on the internet about the symbols that the White Walkers have been leaving.
It's like the spiral.
Yes, the spiral. So they say the spiral goes back to the very first creation of the White Walkers, the White King, or the Ice King. What is he called? The Ice King or the White King or the?
Oh, I don't even remember now.
Anyways, when the fairy people, what were they called?
The
children of the forest.
Children of the corn. Children of the forest.
So when they created the Night King, is it the Night King?
Oh yeah, that's
the Night King.
That's right.
So when they created him, something about, I think they were trying to create some type of a balance with, and there's these theories that that Night King is a Targaryen.
Okay.
So the symbols being that the spiral matches the Targaryen symbol with the dragon. The dragon kind of looks like a spiral.
Okay.
But also in the cave where Jon Snow and Daenerys were getting the dragon glass.
Okay.
And they find all the hieroglyphics.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
Right.
There was a lot of those symbols in there too. And they say that kind of symbols like a unity in life or whatever. But man went and screwed everything up.
Okay.
But so they're trying to tie this all together, saying that it could be a Targaryen that is the Night King.
Okay.
But I don't know. They're saying something about maybe merging fire and ice together by a Targaryen turning to the Night King, which is fire and ice combined. To see if that, because then he is riding the dragon, the dead one, the one that made the zombie ice dragon. Yeah. He's riding it, right? And only Targaryens can. So that's saying something, maybe.
True.
Or maybe just because he's the Night King, he can do that.
I'm interested to see how this all plays out. I'm super excited for it. I wish the episodes were longer. It goes by so fast.
What about creepy Bran? Just creeping out in the courtyard,
waiting for people, just staring at people.
So I read something. So he wears glasses on a regular basis. So he said part of that look that made him look so creepy
lazy eye
is because he wasn't wearing glasses and he can't see anything.
Okay.
So he's sitting there just blind. So he's saying that he's just sitting there kind of blind, not knowing what he's looking at. And so that what kind of added to the creepy factor.
He's like, as soon as I take my glasses off, I get lazy eye.
I just can't see anything anymore.
That'd be funny. So yeah, I really liked the episode. What'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was so cool, especially like when Arya and Jon see each other again, because they haven't seen each other since the first episode.
Yeah. And
so when they see each other,
like season 1,
I kind of got goosebumps.
Episode,
I was like, oh man.
Like when you say that, you mean like season 1,
episode 1. Yeah. That was and so get this, in season 1, episode 1, Ned Stark tells Jon Snow, next time we meet, I'll tell you all about your mother.
Right.
Well, they never got to meet again, right?
Right.
Well,
Ned got his head chopped off.
Yeah, he did. Well, they kind of did some kind of symbolism there. He was visiting Ned Stark's statue. He was in front of Ned Stark's statue when Samuel comes running in to tell him about who his parents
you're saying
are.
a little Easter egg there.
Yeah. Did you catch that? So he's standing in front of Ned Stark's statue.
Yeah.
And they haven't, he hasn't seen him since episode 1. And there he is face to face with Ned Stark. And here comes Samuel running in to tell him the news.
That Ned's not his dad?
Yeah. But how crazy was that when Daenerys has to tell me that she killed his brother and father?
Oh, tell Sam?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean, she was just being honest because she was offering them their lives.
Yeah.
They're just being stubborn. And then the brother, what's his name? Number 1.
Yeah, from Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. He was just like, I'm going to die with my daddy. But what's funny is Samuel, his demeanor changes when he finds out that she also killed his brother. Because when it was his dad, he was kind of like, he wasn't close to his dad. Him and his dad never got along, so he didn't really care. I mean, he still shed a tear. But then when she said that she also had killed his brother, that's when he loses it. And he runs out of there.
He had to excuse himself.
Yeah. Because at first he was all excited to work for her. And then now he runs away thinking, this bitch is crazy. She's on killing spree.
She's roasting people with dragons. The dragons looked awesome. You got some good looks of the dragons.
So what about that little creepy part? So when he's kissing his aunt, when Jon Snow's kissing his aunt, and the dragon's over there like, do you not know that that's your family, you sick son of a bee? And so he's riding the dragon that's named after his dad, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, is that his dad's spirit in that dragon? And that dragon's just staring at him like, boy, you doing some sick shit right now.
But in this age, it's almost in this storyline, it almost seems like incest is,
Well, when he found out it was his aunt, he didn't even bat an eye at that.
He's like, oh man.
He didn't even mention the part that he's been boning his aunt. He just
they call it shagging over there.
Writing.
That part of the
They
world.
call it writing.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, good episode. I'm excited to see how the whole season plays out.
Yeah, that was a damn good episode. I can't wait till this next episode.
I'm stoked for it. It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we were playing around with another show.
Yes.
On Netflix. So Netflix, we kind of talked about what was it, Black Mirror? Was that?
Yeah, it was a Black Mirror thing.
And we didn't really do it, but this time, so Bear Grylls has a new show on Netflix, and that's interactive.
So Bear Grylls, the one from Discovery Channel, the survivalist that goes out and gets himself in situations that he has to show you how to get out of it. So they'll be like, so I'm going to show you this. There's some quicksand right here. I'm going to jump in. And he goes and jumps in there. And he's like, okay, so most people would do this. And then he teaches you how to get out of the situations.
Well, let's do an example of one that we did, right? So there's a gator or a croc in a little pool. And he's like, hey, I need to get through here.
First, you got to explain. So I was explaining who Bear Grylls is. Oh. And now this show on Netflix.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you were doing the
jumping ahead, thinking everybody knows everything. So
who doesn't know Bear Grylls?
Some people don't.
All right. Continue telling who Bear Grylls is.
Anyways, that's who Bear Grylls is, and
he was a ranger for the English
the British military.
I think a ranger.
Yeah, it's some military class.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to like a Navy SEAL here.
So his survival show is, he puts himself in situations, like he jumps out of an airplane.
And we got fans across the pond that listen to us, so they know exactly who we're talking about. Shout out to you guys.
And so he puts himself in, you're right, he puts himself in these isolated situations, and then you just basically watch him get out of it and get rescued. Yeah,
and so he'll show you how to survive in certain conditions. So anyways, he got a new show on Netflix where you choose the path he takes.
Right.
So he gets himself in these situations, and you choose whether choose this option, choose this option. It gives you two choices to make, and then you branch off from there and choose different pathways to get him to his destination safely without dying or having to call for backup.
So we were doing it, and we gave him food poisoning.
well, because we watch some of his shows, and he eats certain shit, right?
Yeah.
So when he had two options to choose, I'm like, I've seen your ass eat that shit. So go ahead and eat that because that has the protein.
Yeah, so he's scaling up this mountainside, really. And he's like, man, I'm hungry. I need some protein. I need some food. And he reaches a nest of eggs. And then he also finds near it a little brush where you can kind of eat the flowers.
Yeah, these little bushes of flowers, and he talks about how time-consuming and how much energy is wasted eating these little flowers. When I've seen him eat these raw eggs out of nests in his episodes before. So we choose the eggs because it's faster. We want to get him to his destination.
So he asked you, eat the bushes or eat the egg. And you pick left or right. Gives you like a countdown of like 10 seconds, right?
Right.
And we like egg, easy, done, right?
Yeah. So then he goes and eats this egg. He's like, oh, that's cold. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's cold. It means it's been sitting there for a while.
And then he goes on his path and all of a sudden he stops and starts puking everywhere.
And he's like, all right, I don't feel good. He starts puking and calls the helicopter like, all right, game over. Hit replay.
Yeah. So kind of got to change your mentality on this thought process when it comes to his survival. So I found out from this, when it comes to eating plants over raw anything, bugs, whether it's bugs or eggs, choose the plants because then he ends up dying of salmonella or calling for backup.
There you go. Another one that was kind of fun was he's on this path, he's following the river, and there's I can't remember if it was a croc or gator. And he's like, all right, I need to go there, but there's a croc or gator here. Should I what was the options? One was like, oh, backtrack around, it'll take a longer time. Or should I just like be big, loud, and scary?
No, you said like try to sneak past unseen, like
unseen
underwater.
Yeah.
Or try to act big and scary and scare it away.
We're like, be big and scary.
Yeah, of course, scare that son of a bee.
And it worked.
Yeah, because if he went swimming underneath it, that thing would have swam underneath him and got him.
Oh, what would happen, right? Does it like latch onto his arm? We should go back and do that.
Well, I mean, that crocodile was so staged. It was an actor crocodile, of course.
It was. I mean, the whole thing is staged. Because here's the thing that we were talking about.
The whole thing is staged.
Basically, because it's interactive and you pick A or B, basically, he has to do both. He has to do both for the filming of this.
And not only that, but he's done all the other multiple paths that go along with the episode. So, every time it branches off, within that branch off, there's other branching offs. So he probably had to do 8 scenarios of each stop.
Yeah. So if you're wondering, how do I compare this? Go back to think back to elementary when you had those interactive books. And this says, okay, you find a cave. Do you go inside, switch to page 8, or do you avoid it and go to page 13, right? And you're like, okay, let me go to page 8 real quick. Oh, there's a dragon, I got killed. Let me go back. Go to 13.
Those books are the best.
I loved those books.
And I remember I'd put a little bookmarker, I'd fold the page over, because then I'd kind of skim over both choices to see
which one looks better.
Which one keeps going on and which one kind of kills me.
You like keep your finger there. I'm like, wait, I kept my finger there. Rewind.
Doesn't count. I haven't committed.
Yeah.
Like making a move on chess, when you make a move and kind of keep your hands on, you don't let go yet, or kind of skim over everything.
Decide, do I really like this? So that's what you can compare this to, those interactive books from elementary.
It was pretty fun to do that night.
It was fun. I mean, those books were fun too. And that's what, I'm always on these nostalgia kicks. So that's what this was for me. It was a nostalgia kick to those books. And it was fun. Do I want to do this all the time? No.
It's cool for kids. I think it'd be really cool for kids, especially like elementary, middle school, when they're learning. If
like
they're
interactive
nature
TV, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the interactive. Well, totally. I mean, the Bear Grylls in general.
Yeah, because Bear Grylls is a badass.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing on this interactive thing, it was cool, but it was a little childish, a little bit.
Okay, because everything's staged, is that why?
Yeah.
And there's rumors that this whole show, Man vs. Wild, is staged.
Well, yes, it was, and he didn't hide it. It was like. Yeah, I'm putting myself in these positions for you to see how to get out. Doesn't mean I'm going to suffer during the whole production of this, because I got to do the whole damn season. I'm going to die if I have to do this all season. So he'll do this stuff for the show where he'll eat the bugs, he'll drink his piss, do all the nasty stuff to show you how to survive. But when they're done rolling, he's like, I'm going to go in my tent. I got some hot cocoa on. I'm going to put my feet up and relax because we got a whole trailer sitting right here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some nights where he actually does have to stay out in the elements because they have to go through certain pathways. So him and his production crew, I'm sure his production crew has like, a nice little setup, and he's just like under the rock and the leaves.
Well, I think I've seen interviews with him or the production team where they're not near him, like at night. He will stay outside, and then they go a couple miles away and stay like in a trailer. And they put all, they have all this camera equipment. So they got to put all the equipment away and things like that. And then they're kind of eating a little better, and then he does. I think he does have like a lot of like those meal replacement bars and things like that he.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to like starve himself purposely on a weekly basis to film this.
Yeah, because they travel all over the world.
Yeah, because he's just showing you how to get out of these situations, the best way, the safest way, and he'll eat the stuff to show you how to do it, and he'll demonstrate it. But as soon as the cameras are done rolling, I don't blame him for wanting to go eat some regular food and sleep in a comfier bed.
Yeah. Did you like that show, Man vs. Wild?
I love that show.
I would watch,
because I thought that was one of the most educational survival shows out there.
Right. Because he did, like he grabbed a piece of elephant dung and squeezed it into his mouth.
Yeah, he was squeezing elephant shit to get the moisture out. And then he skinned a rattlesnake so he could piss in the skin and carry his piss around.
He ate
drink that.
He ate it, used the skin as a piss holder so he can drink it later. Threw it over his neck. Or how about one other time he was in the desert and he's like, hey, listen, it's like you can really burn your retinas out here with the reflection off the sand. So he finds a bee and stings his eye so it swells up so he doesn't see as well.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that. He stung himself so his eyes swell up.
Yeah, he had a bee sting his eyelids.
To make a makeshift hat?
Yeah, visor. Makeshift visor. He's nuts. He's insane. I love it.
That's hardcore. That's how I like to live my life.
Yeah. There was one, I think for me, like the scariest ones he does, because I'm actually, the older I get, the more scared of heights I get, which is weird. And he does these things where he threw this like chain up. He like climbed the scaffolding of a railroad track. Climbed the scaffolding, threw this chain up, and then climbed up it. And he's kind of dangling. It scared the hell out of me. Then he gets on the railroad track, and there's a train coming. So he's got to freaking book it on this railroad track.
Damn.
Nuts, yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say the heights thing. That you were saying how as you get older, you're more scared of heights.
Right.
It's not the heights I'm scared of. It's the falling I'm scared of.
True that.
Like, I can look over a building. As long as I know I'm secure, I'm not scared to look down. If I'm secured and everything, the look down doesn't scare me. If I'm not secure, that's what scares me. It's the falling.
Have you seen this bridge in China that's a glass bridge?
Yeah, so they put that fake cracking.
They put the fake cracking and people freak out.
Yeah, what's the funniest thing they do, though, is when that happens, they hurry and drop and just hurry and try to spread out their weight so they don't fall through. So as soon as that happens, they just slam on the ground real hard.
Grab onto their rail, and that's pretty funny. That's what I think of. Do you have like a favorite thing of Bear Grylls?
Oh, a favorite?
Yeah. Or maybe something you learned?
Oh, I learned a lot. I can't pinpoint just one.
One I can think of is like if you fall through ice, like in a river, you're crossing a river and frozen river, and like people want to like start grabbing to pull themselves up, and you just keep breaking more ice, and you just stay put. And he kind of mentioned you have to kind of lay flat and just kind of like inch your way.
Well, you kick your feet.
Almost like crawl. Yeah.
So you got to kick your feet and you lay on the ice and you do like a little army crawl. And as you kick your feet, and it'll kick you up on top of the ice, and you can just keep crawling, wait till you're on safer, thicker.
So that's the one thing I was like, oh, pretty interesting. Yeah, I love that show. And then I learned like
same thing with quicksand. Same thing with quicksand.
Yeah, just kind of lay flat and just kind of.
But you don't kick your feet. You don't kick your feet on quicksand.
You just army crawl it. Yeah. Slowly spread out.
And then some things I learned from him about like where to get water in a lot of different areas.
Oh yeah. So, sucking on pine. Or pine trees.
Or
in the morning, like the dew just.
Have you seen where there's like a little trickle coming out of a rock?
Oh yeah.
And but it's not anything you can actually like drink. But what he'll do is he'll put a shoelace in the water, put the shoelace into an empty water bottle, and it'll slowly drip into the water bottle to where it'll fill it all up and he can drink it.
He's so clever.
I know, right? I would have never thought of that shit.
Another one, he would dig a hole. Again, morning dew, dig a hole, and then put like a cup in the middle, and then lay something on top like a tarp or like a windbreaker, and then you put a rock in the middle right above the cup, and as it condensates from the heat and things like that, it'll trickle down and then drip into the cup.
Interesting.
Different things like that. Yeah, like I learned a lot. I'm ready to go out in the woods, man. Just kidding. I don't want to do that.
I know. I don't want
to have to survive, but I know.
But I've done backpacking, overnight backpacking, where I'm miles away from everything, and I'll just go from lake hopping from lake to lake. Shit's pretty cool. I haven't had to like break down into survival mode or anything because I had everything on my back. So, but if I had to, I'd be ready. Thanks to Bear Grylls.
Yes.
Because Bear Grylls got me ready for anything.
Now, he did a spin-off. I don't know if you saw this, but where he...
Celebrities?
Yes.
It's still on, I think.
Have you watched it, though?
So crazy. Things are just kind of mixing. The only one I've watched is where he's with Cersei.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Lena Headey?
Lena Headey?
Yeah.
Lena or Lena? Something like that. Anyways, that is the only one I've watched.
Ah.
Coincidentally, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Coincidentally, those are the two topics today.
We're always bringing it around, guys. Always.
Didn't we say that last time?
Yes, that's what I'm reminding people.
Oh, man. We are. So, yeah, that is the only episode I've seen.
Okay, I've seen a couple. The best one is when he had Will Ferrell on. And it was just comedy.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did see snippets of that. I didn't watch the whole thing. That's comedy. What I found out, that this was actually a show.
Okay.
Because I saw snippets
of that. Commercial or something?
No, I saw like snippets, like funny parts of the show.
Yeah. And
then that's when I found out that this was actually a real series.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever watch regular TV because it wasn't on cable. It was on public television, like CBS or NBC or something.
Okay.
Or ABC, one of those main channels. Anyways, I never watched those, so I didn't even know that this was a thing.
Yeah.
I just streamed TV, so I just...
Oh, another good one was Shaq. Shaq was on it.
Oh, yeah?
Good. Yeah.
But what was some of the funny things with Will Ferrell, though?
Oh, I don't remember, because I watched it when it first came out. That was a couple years ago, so I can't remember. But it was just their banter. It was just their banter.
Well, Will Ferrell can banter with anybody.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. He's so... Like, I was just laughing the whole time. So the premise is... It's not only the survival, but it's actually Bear interviewing them as well.
Yeah, that was a cool thing.
Yeah, so he's like talking to him. So how many kids you got? Like what do they like to do? He kind of gets it personal, and I guess you kind of, because you're out there in the wilderness and you're just you and somebody else. I think it's easier to open up.
It's a more
which is a great idea.
Yeah, it makes you more vulnerable. To your...
So he'll ask them about their parents, about their upbringings, how they got into showbiz, whatever they do. And so it's like an interview and survival at the same time. So they're trudging along, they're surviving, they're giving tips, and then as they sit down to like eat or go to bed, he's like talking and interviewing them. And oh gosh, what was one of the funny things with Will Ferrell is they had a scale. They were in the snow, and they had to scale down a mountain or like a cliff, and so he had to like tie a rope on, and just like Will Ferrell getting into it was just. He was just clumsy about it, and he's just cracking jokes about it the whole time. It was a hilarious episode.
Okay, I have to go back and watch that.
And Shaq's was pretty funny too, because Shaq's like, oh, I'm big and strong and I can survive, and he was also really clumsy out there too. It was funny.
Very Squatch-like. Huh?
I didn't watch every episode, but I've watched a few of those.
I wonder
episodes.
if those are streamable. I do want to go and watch those. Now.
I don't even know what that one's called.
I remember seeing the name of it, but I'm sure I can Google it.
Search Bear and. Did you know Bear's not his real name?
What is that? His army name?
He has like a nickname. Yeah.
What was his real name?
I don't know his real name.
Probably something like Clarence. I could see him being a Clarence.
Clarence. Some of his. It's funny because he mentions like some of his favorite things to eat, just like in general. So when he comes across things like that. Like when he's starving, right? He's like, because he's eating bugs and flowers all day. He's like laying down. He's like, gosh, I would really die. I'd really kill for this right now. Some of his favorite things are avocados and mayonnaise. Like real mayonnaise. He like loves it.
Well, British mayonnaise, I'm sure, is a lot different than American mayonnaise.
Well, it's like two ingredients. Egg whites and olive oil. That's it.
Yeah, and then in America, it's probably like fructose. And,
and a bunch of stuff, too.
Corn syrup and... I've seen the different ingredients when it comes to ketchup and all these other ingredients when it comes to the UK and America.
Okay.
They have like 2-3 ingredients, all natural. That's what it is. Sure. And then we have like 8 ingredients and you can't even pronounce the 5 of them.
Benzoate.
Yeah. And they're usually, the number one thing is either sugar or high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
And then there's none of that in the UK version. There's no sugar. There's no high fructose corn syrup. We got to deal with all that. It's weird. I don't get it. So it's just Americans love their sweet shit. They're just stuffing us full of sugar.
We do. And probably because, I don't know, we put things in the fridge and let it last forever too. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Well, yeah, what's funny over there,
so
everything that's big and bulky, they call it American. So, like, our refrigerators that we have here, which they're normal refrigerators.
Right.
But theirs on there, across the pond are like half the size or a quarter of the size, and those are their refrigerators. So when they see a big one like that, they call it an American refrigerator.
American icebox.
Yeah, an American icebox.
So they see like our
everything,
restaurant size. We're like, oh, they got a healthy portion. They're like, it's American size.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I'm pretty sure if they go to like a fast food, instead of getting a large, they American.
Yeah, do you want medium or large? You want standard or American size?
Well, yeah.
America. That's fun. But yeah, it was a fun interactive show. I wouldn't want to just sit down like on a Sunday when I'm ready to unwind and then do that.
No, because you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we were talking to each other and we didn't catch what the hell he was just saying.
Yeah, because we were talking about the adventure he's on. And we're like, oh, wait, what was the options again? Because he kind of like hints at things and...
Yeah, so you have to pay attention. You can't talk to each other during this.
Right.
Because when we were talking to each other, all of a sudden he's in another situation that you have to choose. And we're like, oh, shit, what did he say? We can't... There's no rewinding it.
Right.
So you just have to make a choice.
Now, we did that because we were on our way afterwards to the Kava Bar.
No, we went to the Kava Bar before.
Was it? Oh, was it beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We came back to let the buzz wear off.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So we went to that Royal Kava Bar again in West Valley, and it was a fun setting because we went on it was a Saturday, right? It was Saturday night.
Was it a Saturday night or Friday night?
Oh, good question.
No, it was a Friday night.
Yes, you're right.
It was a Friday night.
It was Friday night, and it was really busy because they had, people just kind of performing, and man, the love there at this place is just awesome.
I know we got a barbecue plate while we were chilling.
Yeah, so someone had a barbecue beforehand.
Well, they had the Kava convention that weekend.
Yeah, so they were at someone's house having a barbecue, and they just brought a bunch of leftovers, just passing it out to everybody. It was like ribs and chicken and.
Oh yeah,
man, it was awesome. And then they were like making us kava chai teas and
that was so good. The kava chai.
Good. I wish it was closer. I'm gonna have to like make some kava and go get my chai and then just pour it in or something.
I need to go get some more kava. I'm out.
You're out already?
Wow.
I
drink it every day.
Okay.
Till it was gone.
Well, I started doing it. My back was kind of spazzing a little bit the other day. I had some kava. Kind of got a little mellow. Got my mouth and tongue a little numb. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm feeling good. But it was cool. Like it was just like that atmosphere. Like now that we're in that lifestyle now.
We about that life. Is that what
we're about that cover life? No, but now that we're like kind of just like
we're not regulars there, but we've been a couple times.
But we've been a couple times. And everyone's just like so cool and chill. And we're like, oh man, I kind of dig this atmosphere.
That's why I like going to reggae concerts. Same thing.
I love going
no
to
fights.
Concerts.
There's no fights at reggae
Everyone's
concerts.
just chill and mellow. They just want to enjoy the vibes.
That's right.
Oh, in fact, you just saw in Utah, they got the Reggae Fest coming up soon.
Oh, the big summer festival?
Yeah.
3-day event?
3-day event. They just announced the artist. Man, it looks so good. I'm like, oh man, I have to go to like all 3 days or something.
I'll probably choose one day.
They all look good. Luckily, I've seen a lot of those bands. So
I've seen all of those bands.
Have you seen Stephen Marley?
Yes, I have.
I have not seen Stephen. That might be a good one. I haven't seen The Green either. That might be good for me.
I met The Green.
The Movement is coming. I don't know if you've heard of them. Or do you know who they are?
I've heard of them. I'm not a fan.
You're not?
Maybe I got to hear their music again. I hear more about them.
These are reggae bands we're mentioning. Sorry, guys, if you don't know. But, it's good. Especially like when the weather's nice because we're getting to that summer, spring season. Man, just listening to some reggae just keeps you calm.
I'm not going to reggae concert tomorrow, but I am going to go see Nas and Snoop.
Nas and Snoop and your favorite 2 Chainz.
I don't really give a shit about 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz. I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, that's right. Nas and Snoop are coming. I
don't really care too much about Snoop either. I really just want to go see Nas.
You don't like Snoop?
I mean, he's okay. I would like to go kick it with him.
Okay.
But his raps. I mean, he put out a good first album.
All right.
And then everything after that was just like snippets of some things that are good.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes some featuring, some songs where he's just being featured on there is good, but he doesn't really. He would never be in like a top 20 MCs.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he's a great MC.
I might have to.
I don't
disagree with you on that one.
I think he's a good like character. I think Snoop Dogg is a great character.
Okay.
I mean, his persona and his character are great. It's iconic.
Right.
But him as an MC, as being a great lyricist, not in the top 20.
Have you heard him freestyle before?
Yes, I have.
You don't think?
No. So one of my boys, Weldon, he was in the music business. He was a producer. He produced some things with Snoop involved.
Okay.
He had some court cases here, and he just got released from prison.
Who?
But Weldon.
Oh, okay.
And he.
I think Snoop got some again.
Snoop had to be summoned to the court case because he had some of his things included with Snoop, I guess, to his.
Interesting.
But anyways, yeah, Snoop was summoned to his hearing and all that. He traveled with Snoop during the Up in Smoke tour in 2001.
I was there.
And so I was watching, and this was funny. He took a lot of backstage videos.
Okay.
On cassette tape. You know those little mini cassettes?
Yeah.
So, because there weren't memory cards back then. It wasn't digital like it was now. So, anyways, we were going through some of those tapes, watching them one time with him. And a lot of them were just him backstage smoking blunts and freestyling. And they were so corny. They were all so corny.
Because they were high?
Yeah, they were super high, but I mean, when is he not?
Okay.
And his...
Maybe when he's recording.
No, when he's recording, he's super high. But all of it was just like elementary style rapping.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just laughing at himself going, the cat is wearing a hat, and then the bat for shizzle, and then the kizzle, and then my nizzle did his dizzle. So that's all he was doing.
That was good. That was funny. But he stays really relevant. He had that.
Yes. His character, his persona is iconic, and it always will be.
Because he had that show with his family. I don't remember the name of that one. But
yeah, he had that one, but he has a show with Martha Stewart.
He's got a new show with Martha Stewart now.
They've had a couple shows now.
Because you know how they met, right?
During the celebrity roast.
During a roast, and they just like hit it off.
Because he was hitting on her,
right?
And then the banter between the two were funny. So
VH1 really funny.
Wanted to keep that going and added them together for shows.
And he's done things like Willie Nelson because they're really big into the marijuana scene and things like that together. And so they've done some stuff together, like just bantering and So you're right. He's definitely a funny character.
Yeah. So like who he is always going to be relevant, and he's always going to be famous because he built that on himself. He created that. But when it comes to his raps, no, he will never be a greatest MC.
Remember when he went to No Limit?
Yeah, that record label was horrible. But that was another thing. Master P made millions off of that.
Yeah,
he's no longer doing stuff in the rap game. He's doing like real estate things, big money moves.
That's right.
And so he's gonna stay rich. He doesn't need to stay relevant in the hip hop scene because he's put his money everywhere else.
That's true.
Which I found out that's what Nipsey Hussle did. All his money that he was making, he was investing, and so when people were trying to donate to his family, like his baby mom was like, "No, we're good. We are set."
Oh, okay.
I think their net worth is something like $210 million because of what he was putting his money towards.
Yeah,
I saw an old video. Brand. I saw an old video of him when he was like up and coming, probably early 20s. Okay. So this is probably 10 years old. And he's talking about that. He's saying, and he looks like a little thug out on the street, but he's like, no, I'm not going to put money into stupid shit like chains and cars and stuff because those depreciate. I'm going to put my money into assets that will appreciate value. So he did. He was smart. He wasn't sporting stupid chains. He wasn't driving around in Bentleys trying to act cool. He was owning businesses. I think he ended up creating like 40-something thousand jobs for people with the businesses.
Okay. That's pretty good. So Snoop Dogg and then Nas. Nas is one of my favorite hip-hop artists.
Yeah, see, Nas would be in the top 5 MC. Which is crazy that he's not headlining that.
Is it Snoop headlining?
Yeah, Snoop's headlining. Well, it is a 420 concert, so Snoop would want to be.
I don't know if they're doing a lot of the West. I don't know, but it makes sense a little bit. But you haven't seen Nas before.
No, I have not. So that's really what I want to see.
I've seen him at Sundance perform at Club Harrio's back in the day. Saw Nas, and I think I've seen him at another concert too. I love Nas. Remember that beef he had with Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Who do you think won that beef?
Oh man, so that's kind of hard to say because lyrically they're so different but equally as good. But it was hard to say who smashed who.
I think Nas won, in my opinion. Like, just hearing the tracks back and forth, I was like, "Ooh, Nas!" Like,
yeah, because that was during the time when Jay-Z was dumbing down his lyrics for his fan base.
Yeah, it was just all about a hook, like a catchy hook.
It was all about a catchy hook and a catchy beat. Nas kind of stayed to his hip hop roots, and kept it down that same path. So he kind of got forgotten about for about a decade of just staying under the radar.
Which is unfortunate. You're right, because,
So he went about a decade going under the radar, and but that beef, maybe not a whole decade, but he went a while.
Yeah.
But then that beef kind of brought him back.
It's true. He came out with like Ether, but that album that Ether was on was fire.
The Stillmatic, that was so dope. I think that one, because his first 3 albums were really good.
I own all of his albums.
I don't. He's probably got like 13, 14 albums. You have all those.
No,
you have those first 3, yes, because they were all really good. But then after that, there was probably like 3 or 4 more albums up until Stillmatic.
I have quite a collection of albums. I probably have, I don't know how many albums he does have, but I probably got 6 or 7 of his albums.
Yeah, so you're about halfway.
Which is still a lot.
I know.
For an artist, that's how much I respect him, you know what I mean? Like, but his stuff is just...
I haven't bought an album since the early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't remember even the last album I bought. I remember the first album I bought. Like on CD, I should say.
I remember the first CD and I remember the last CD.
What's the first CD you bought?
The first CD I bought was Immature.
That's right. I remember that, actually.
Never lie.
I remember that. I remember you came home with that. My first CD was K7, Swing Bada Swing.
Oh, what kind of music? What was that called?
Swing Bada Bada Bada
I know,
Bada
but
Bada
what
Swing.
was that?
Come diddy dum diddy diddy dum dum.
What was that style called?
I don't know, like a ska.
No, it wasn't a ska. It had. I want to. Damn it!
I don't know. It was.
Yeah. Remember in because Boys to Men kind of had that.
Like Motown?
Yeah, but not Motown. Is some type of swing. Oh shit! I can't remember now. Oh man, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look this up. This is gonna drive me crazy.
That was my first CD, K7. I don't remember my last one. What was your last one?
It was Welcome to Jam Rock.
Okay. Damian Marley?
Yep, that was the last album I bought.
Oh man, I do have that. I can't really remember the last.
Because after that was probably 2008 that they came out.
Then you started LimeWiring it or what?
Yeah, then LimeWire came out. It was all over that. And then, let's see, what came after that?
Napster,
other people
LimeWire.
were just streaming for me. Oh, there were, some other people were just downloading it for me and putting it on an external hard drive. And then I could upload it to my iPod.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then after that, now I just pay for Tidal now, which I'm giving money to Jay-Z for that.
Oh, to Tidal. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just do Amazon Prime, so I just listen to my Prime. No commercials.
Yeah, but I'd have to pay extra for that. I kind of think I want to now.
For which one?
The Amazon Music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you can upgrade it. Apple's got one too. I don't know which one's better than the other, but I don't pay for either.
Oh, so there was some sad news today.
Yeah. Like just barely. We just found out a couple hours ago.
Yeah, just before we decided to record. So Lorraine Warren just passed away today.
92 years old.
Yeah, from Ed and Lorraine Warren, the couple that you know from the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, so let's rewind it. So Ed and Lorraine, Ed passed away in 2006.
Right.
But Ed and Lorraine were known for some of the major hauntings. We'll touch on those in a second. But the major hauntings that they investigated. And so Lorraine was a medium, and her husband Ed was a demonologist.
Right. She was more like a highly sensitive. So she could see. What was she? I mean, she could see spirits, but then she could also touch things and kind of feel. I can't remember all of her
story.
Yeah.
So like we were kind of looking at it. So some of these are like movies that I'm sure you've heard of, but they were big impact on this. So one that was a few years old is Haunting in Connecticut. So that was one. Amityville Horror. They were the investigators for that Amityville Horror that you've all seen. So we've seen the Conjuring movies. If you guys watched some of our past episodes, you saw that we interviewed Andrea Perrin. And she's like one of the big spokespeople for their family, but they were from the Conjuring movie.
Yeah, she was the oldest daughter.
Also,
the Annabelle doll.
The Annabelle doll. And then they have a museum out in their hometown of Connecticut called the Occult Museum, where the Annabelle doll is currently stored, plus a lot of relics and things like that they've kind of accumulated throughout their years. And it's just a museum you can go into, and I definitely probably wouldn't touch anything. But
do you remember the story about the haunting in Connecticut?
I don't actually. I don't think I saw that movie. Well, I know I didn't see that movie.
Okay, so that's the one where the family moves into this big house.
Okay.
And the son comes, like the oldest son comes down with this, I think it's a type of cancer.
Oh.
And he wants to move his bedroom down to the basement. And this basement was always spooky, scary. And there was this doors that were always locked. And somehow they were opened for him at night or something. And he'd go in. And it was like a morgue.
Okay, I did see this. Okay.
And so it was all set up like a morgue, but it was closed off. So they somehow gets into it, and I think he gets possessed or something. They have to exorcise him. I can't remember the whole story, but I remember that part.
Interesting.
And their nephew, who was also really big into the paranormal scene, John Zaffis, that was like his biggest thing that he was involved in, was that Haunting in Connecticut. Okay. John Zaffis, he had his own show too, the Haunted Collector. Because he has his own occult museum too.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, so I met John Zaffis. He was here with Josh Gates for that March with the Aliens.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that March with the Aliens thing. So yeah, I got to meet John Zaffis. That was really cool. But that was the closest I got to Ed and Lorraine Warren.
All right. So yeah, it was sad news. And so if you go back to these movies, you watch these movies, you'll see their characters, right? That's who their characters are. In fact, The Conjuring, Vera Farmiga, did I pronounce her last name?
I think so.
Farmiga? She plays Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring and in Annabelle. They're in Annabelle, right?
Well, I don't think they're in the movie Annabelle.
Oh, okay.
Because that was just, they did like a branch off, they did kind of made up a story.
And also in The Nun, but The Nun was totally made up.
Yeah, so those were just the Conjuring producers and stuff that were part of.
So I guess she was still Lorraine Warren in.
Yeah, she just played Lorraine Warren in all the parts.
Okay, but yeah, it was just a made up story, kind of running off of The Conjuring, which that character was also made up. I think for that movie Conjuring.
Well, I mean, it was a real thing she saw, but they made up a storyline for that thing she saw.
Right.
Same with Annabelle. They only knew so much about Annabelle, but Hollywood went and made up some stuff to create a story for Annabelle.
Right. So yeah, I mean, she's a big influence on, the paranormal world. She's been on a lot of shows that you've seen on TV, like Ghost Adventures and Paranormal State. And what else has she been on? Do you remember? Quite a few, right?
Yeah, she's been on a lot of things, but I think the paranormal world, or the investigative world of paranormal, wouldn't be what it is today without Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think they kind of innovated a pathway for people to explore and kind of make it okay and not so taboo.
Right.
Because, I mean, especially back then when they were doing what they were like the only ones. I mean, now there's dozens of teams in every state. There's paranormal teams in every state you go to. Right. And, there's branches of whatever. And, anyways, they were like the only ones doing it back in the 60s, 70s when they started.
And they have a lot of controversy around them, too, if they were making things up. And
yeah, so from what I've gathered, especially after talking to Andrea Perrin, it sounded like they wouldn't make things up, but they seem to exaggerate situations to Hollywood, make things more Hollywood, or I guess Andrew Perrin said that like they were owned by Warner Brothers pretty much. And I guess
the Warrens were?
Yeah, the Warrens were pretty much.
Oh, because as they were like take their stories and make them into the movies.
Yeah, so anytime they had a situation, it would go through Warner Brothers or whatever, and Warner Brothers would make it more elaborate or whatever. So their stories were, I guess you had to take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah, which you should do with everything. But you know, some of their stories, like I think I can't remember the location, but they would film where furniture moves. Because they obviously took on like the
scariest of the scary.
Yeah, like me and you go to houses, but it's just a random. Hey, things are happening. We don't get it. Things move. We hear things. What is it?
I heard that they were putting themselves in these places. So like some of these locations that they went to, they weren't even invited. They would just show up,
which is genius, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's genius.
I mean, for them, yeah, but it's
you gotta put yourself in those positions sometimes.
It's a little bit intrusive.
Well, sure, but you know, I'm sure they put themselves in positions too, and they got kicked out, and then they never talked about that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
you sometimes you got to put yourself out there. So I don't hate on that at one bit. I'm like, hey, you know what? You got to take opportunities when they come your way is my kind of mantra. So I don't blame them for it. They hear something, they're like, hey, we're flying out there. We're gonna. And it seemed like it was kind of portrayed that way too in something. It might have been like Amityville. They just kind of like, hey, so we heard something's going on. Like, what's up? You know,
yeah, that's kind of
we're gonna kind of crash here and film.
So there's ghosts.
Yeah, you know, I don't blame
I have
them.
all this equipment.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Weird, right? Coincidental, maybe.
You gotta put yourself take opportunities. So I don't blame them one bit.
But I think what they did was, you know, they paved the way for a lot of investigative teams to do what they do now. And kind of showed people how to do some things.
Well, give me your opinion from watching like their real life documentaries and films, and then you know watching the movie portrayals. Do you feel like Lorraine was a medium? Do you feel like Ed was very knowledgeable in the occult?
Yes and yes, and I also think that they also played it up more than it really was.
Yeah.
You know, I think, yes, she could see things. Yes, I think she could feel things. But, like, even what Andrea Perrin was saying, that she got some things wrong, like with Bathsheba, who Bathsheba was.
Oh, okay.
Bathsheba wasn't this evil person who they portrayed in the movies because that was just based off of what Lorraine Warren had just said one day.
Okay.
But that's not really who Bathsheba was or her character. So she actually, like... Andrea Perrin and her mom actually felt bad for Bathsheba and the spirit of Bathsheba, and she's not this evil witch that they portrayed and all that. So that movie made things worse for that house or her mom, Andrea Perrin's mom, because that spirit of Bathsheba was so pissed about that portrayal about her.
Okay, interesting. So you felt like Ed was pretty knowledgeable when he was talking about it?
I think Ed knew a lot.
Because he was like self-proclaimed. I'm going to look at that episode that we
Well, he was I mean, he was the first and I think only at the time non-priest holding demonologist.
Okay.
So like you had to be you had to be like a priest or something within the Catholic Church to be considered to be a demonologist or to be taught demonology. But he kind of put himself in there and they taught him, and he was the first demonologist outside of the Catholic Church. Okay. Or that wasn't, he might have been Catholic, but who wasn't like ordained a priest or something like that.
Because he was self-proclaimed a demonologist. So he's like just, I don't know what kind of research
I don't know if he was self-proclaimed. I think he was actually taught by the Catholic Church.
Oh,
I think they actually put him through the same course that they put the priests through.
Okay.
When they have to teach them exorcisms and all that. So he was the first one who wasn't a high-holding priest or a priesthood, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But, he was the only one at the time.
So I'm curious, out of those movies, which one was your favorite? So Amityville Horror, Haunting in Connecticut, The Conjuring, Annabelle.
The Conjuring.
Mine too.
Yeah,
mine too.
Amityville has a lot of situations with that. So
well, okay. Can I talk real quick on Amityville? So there's a bunch of movies but it's actually 2 different families.
Yeah, it's 2 different families. There's one family that lived there first, and that's when those whole things were said to be... That's when it kind of came out that it was haunted. And then the other family came in and bought it.
Right.
And it's said that that other family, the Lutz family that came in and bought it, and then had another movie made on them, that they were in it to buy it just for to be famous. This is rumors. I don't know. But, it was kind of rumored around that they bought that knowing what it was and to try to do something to become famous themselves. But I guess it backfired because they ended up making movies about their story and they never got any rights to it and they didn't get any money out of it. Okay.
So, if you want to listen to our podcast with Andrea Parent, it was actually episode 6. And this is the one that actually, it was at the end of the episode. This one was titled Name Change, Paranormal Expo, The Conjuring, because this is the first episode where we changed our name from Smash Brothers to
Buko Boys. That's right. So those first few episodes were Smash Bros. Smash Brothers. Now we are the Buko Boys.
So that was episode 6. So if you guys are curious about that episode, it was that tail end.
But you have to mind that it was a recording of a recording. So it is, turn the volume down a little bit. It's a little scratchy because it's a microphone held up to a speaker.
On that one? Is that how we did that one?
Yes. Oh. We had to record it because we recorded off your video recording. Oh. So it is a little hard to listen to. I'm sorry, but it's a really cool interview.
It was a cool episode. It was a
yes, it was.
Actually, a lot of people ask me about that. Like, how do we meet her? How do we come across her? Because they love The Conjuring.
Because the Buko Boys have exclusive rights.
You listen, guys.
Yeah, kind of like, we're going to go to the Utah Doe show next week, and that was sold out in 2 minutes. But the Buko Boys got some exclusive shit. That's what we do. So, we'll be telling you guys all about the Utah Doe show because only so many people are going, like us.
It's donuts. It's going to be great.
So actually, if you don't remember our donut episode, we wanted to know who had the best donuts out there locally. Yeah. Now we're going to have all the donuts locally come to just one place. And
they're coming to us, basically.
We will be in that one place, and we will judge all of them.
That was episode 15.
Okay, episode 15 where we talk about donuts.
We're going to find out which one's the best one in town. It's going to be awesome.
So anyways, back to Lorraine Warren. She is who she is. One of the pioneers in paranormal, and she will be greatly missed.
Yeah, it was sad. I mean, 92. She had a good life.
So, and she's pretty... I want to watch this interview with her and Ed talking about dimensions.
Yeah, we were kind of
scrolling through some YouTube videos. Yeah. I want to see this interview with her talking about dimensions. I want to see what she has to say with that. Because I think, when you kind of learn a lot of the things that they've learned, you're not scared to die anymore.
Yeah, good point.
It's one of those things where people are scared to die because they think that's it. But I think knowing what they know, knowing what I know now, it's not as scary. It still would suck. I think it would suck because I still want to live for a while. Yeah. But I wouldn't be scared of it. I would hate to go through a painful death. I would be really scared of going through a painful death because I do not want to feel that.
like catching on fire?
Yeah, catching on fire, like, those car accidents where they're really mangled. Oh. And then they end up in the hospital for a couple days before passing away. I do not want to go that way.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah. Peacefully in my sleep, please.
Yeah. Is there a menu you can choose?
I hope so.
Well, should we watch that Dimensions episode now?
Yeah, we probably should. Let's call this wrap this up then.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for spending your hour with us.
And we hope you enjoyed and you subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button right there on your phone or YouTube. Hit the
Share to your friends. Share to your friends and everyone you know. People, strangers. Just tell strangers. Hey, have you guys heard about the Buko Boys?
You really should.
Well, here. Let me show you who they are.
So share it, subscribe, and we love you guys.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Bye.